every individual, right, receives inspiration in the direction of their passion, right? If you see two people who say they are passionate about writing, for example, or passionate about speaking, for example, maybe they can talk, they have the oratory skill. You will see that in life, right? Though both of them have similar passion, similar gifts, but the expression begins to differ. So this one who says he can speak, and that one who has good oratory, so one can tilt towards business, and the other can tilt towards faith. You understand? What I'm saying is that, you see, it is very possible that people oftentimes try to find personal expression for their purpose. Like you try to define what I should be doing with what I have. But what I've come to realize from my own personal journey here is that you don't necessarily try to define who you are sent to. Because I believe that you cannot mechanically define or find what you have been naturally given. Let me give you an example. If for example, somebody that says that they can, maybe I say, okay, for example, if I say I have an oratory skill, for example, using my example, I cannot determine what direction that oratory gift can go. Because remember that, I think it was in Isaiah, it was in Psalm 40 or something, Isaiah 40. He said, I have come in the volume of the book, which has been written concerning me. Right? He says, I desire to do your will, O God. He now says something very profound. He said, your law has been written in my heart. Now, the law guides me into the book that has been written concerning me. So where I'm going to is this. There is a law in me that directs my thoughts, that directs my inspirations to a predestinated path. Looking at Ephesians chapter, I think it was Ephesians 2, 9 or 10, that says that we are the workmanship of God created in Christ Jesus unto good work, which we were what? Preordained to do. Right? So there is a path, because every manufacturer who creates a thing has put in that thing the ability to be whatever it is he wants him to be based on the purpose of the manufacturer. So when God creates a man, he puts in that man purpose of what he wants him to do. Right? So there is a volume of book that is written concerning each and every one of us. Now there is a law that has been put inside of us that direct our path. If I have oratory skill, and maybe by my history, I think that I should go into business. But by design, the oratory skill was meant to go to the path of faith. I'm just using those two as an example. I will constantly struggle in my expression. Why? Because I feel like this is the way I should go. Maybe because I went to a business school. Maybe because of some encounters that I've had. I'm from a family that is business oriented. So if I have a skill like this, then it must be in business. But by design, it is meant to be in faith or something else. So I just want to point out that sometimes, at some point, this can be a juncture where people also struggle. The interpretation of passion. Into what branch am I supposed to go? But what I've discovered is that you don't have to struggle about this. Just follow the promptings of your heart, because there is a law that he wrote in your heart that is meant to direct your path towards where you are. You will just realize that you are having inspiration towards certain kind of people. You understand? The one that is called into faith, we will see that what he thinks about or what he talks about oftentimes has to do with faith, has to do with God. But you just want to do business. See, at that point, it can be very confusing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but what I've just realized is submit to the process, submit to the inspiration, because those inspirations, especially when they come, sometimes some inspirations come to you, they just come naturally. You just understand that the kind of ideas that come to your mind, the kind of perceptions that you have toward, even when you read a book, the interpretation of that book is in a particular direction. You hear a word, the interpretation of that thing is a particular direction, then you need to pay attention to that direction, even if it is not the direction you are looking at. But that is to tell you that there is a member in you who knows you more than you know yourself, right?
Absolutely.
That has written a law in your heart that is meant to direct your path. That is why he says that. He says, your word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. For me, my interpretation of that place is your word have I hid in my heart that I might not go in an opposite direction. In a disobedience. In a disobedience. And this word, and we have also seen that this word, I did not necessarily put it there. You have put that word in me.